Hello and welcome to that Deacon on YouTube for the month of April. Now, I know I already posted something. It was not our typical format, but I could not help but put up a special Good Friday video that I created with my rector at St. George's. Rather than try and do makeshift Zoom Holy Week services, we decided to do reflection videos for Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturday, and then we met as a congregation on Zoom for Easter Sunday. So I thought I would present that and give that to you. But as time went on, I thought, well, gosh, I'm not doing what I normally do, so rather than be lazy and just post that video, I thought I would talk to you today. And what I have planned for you today is hopefully something that will get you through some of our social distancing time away when many of us are locked indoors. Now, I'm sure you've seen every rerun of every sitcom you've ever enjoyed on TV. So I thought I would offer you, I came up with 5 different free videos that you can watch that might inform your faith. So all of these are available, I believe, on YouTube. They're totally free. I will put links down below so that you can watch them. 2 of them are courses that are absolutely free to watch. So I think it might be something maybe some of you might be interested in. Now let me start by getting to my first suggestion. The first video that I have, I believe, was from PBS, and it has a bit of a, somewhat of a scandalous, salacious title, but the scholarship is right on point. I remember when this came out when I was in seminary, and we brought it up to our Hebrew Bible professor, who, as I've mentioned before, was the person who translated the Dead Sea Psalm Scroll, so he knows what he's talking about. And when we told him about the documentary, he said, finally, someone is doing something that's right, because most times none of my professors would watch any of those quote-unquote biblical shows that are presented on television. This one is entitled The Bible's Buried Secrets. Now see, that sounds somewhat cheesy, but actually the scholarship is quite good, and it takes us through the formation of the Hebrew Bible. And what it does is pit archaeology and scripture. Most times archaeology tries to prove scripture. This flips it the other way, which is what it's supposed to do. It's how the people of that time actually formulated and began to think about God and the monotheizing process. So it is quite good. I would highly recommend it. My next 2 suggestions are from Yale University. Did you know that you can literally sit in on classes at Yale? There are 2 that I can recommend. I've listened to these while I drive. I don't look at the video, obviously, but it's a lecture. So when I'm driving, I can hook my phone to my Bluetooth inside my car, and I can listen to these lectures. They're quite good. The first one is entitled Introduction to the New Testament, and it's presented by Dr. Dale Martin. It is academic. It is meant for the students that are attending Yale, not in the divinity school, but their regular education. So it's free from doctrine, It's very scholarly. He's an engaging teacher. You might want to have a Bible with you, so check out that link. I think you might enjoy that. The third lecture from Yale is entitled The Early Middle Ages, 284 to 1000. And when they talk about the early Middle Ages, we might know this as the Dark Ages. And the wonderful thing about this, Professor Freedman is the name of the person who's teaching that class. He brings up a lot of the struggles that the early church had to formulate doctrine. He talks about the different heresies that came about at that time and how this affected the growth of church history, what we know to be church history. He takes us through the council at Nicaea and all of that other stuff. So he's looking at it as an informed historian. Again, it's free of any dogma or church-related leanings. He just presents things as a historian. And for Episcopalians and Anglicans generally, this is something that I think we would welcome. So check that one out. Now, the fourth recommendation I have, again, is either on YouTube, or if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It's free as well. I would suggest you try to find it on Amazon Prime if you're a member, because the video quality is better. But it's also available on YouTube. It's in many, many parts. It's called A History of the Popes, Saints and Sinners. And it carries the papacy all the way back to the myths of the beginning of the first pope, even though he wasn't a pope, and then takes it all the way up to, I believe, Benedict. So it's quite a long and interesting journey that is presented. And I think as Anglicans, we should be informed about the Roman Catholic Church. We are a church that were represented by Rome in the early parts, and then we had our break. So I think it's good for us to know more about the papacy and how it has affected the world, and it also shows in some ways what happens to a church when it thinks of itself as an empire. So that is an interesting program to watch, and all of these will take you forever to get through. So now the last one is just fun, because all work and no play sucks. So what I would like to suggest is a fifth site. It is called Joolz Guides. And it's a person I just stumbled upon. I don't know how I found it. YouTube has a way of letting you access rabbit holes, and sometimes you find things. The person who presents this show offers London history walks. He lives in London, and what he does is he'll pick out a particular neighborhood, and you will walk with him through that neighborhood, and he points out various things that he finds interesting and hopes that we will find interesting. He's very engaging. At the end of each walk, he lands in a pub and says his goodbyes and does his recaps. So he's quite engaging, and the channel is a lot of fun. If you've not been to London, it's a great way to learn about that city. If you have been to London, he takes you to places you probably never even heard of or realized that these places were available. So check out Joolz Guides. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed these recommendations. I hope you check them out, And I hope they bring you some interesting education. I hope they get you thinking. And most importantly, I hope they get you through cabin fever, which I'm sure most of us have. Until I see you again next month, my name is Deacon Anthony Keller, that Deacon on YouTube, and I pray to God that you are healthy, happy, and living out your faith. Until next time, bye-bye. See you then.